Hey, this is Mike Durr, the Kingwood Mortgage Guy, and listen, I have been wanting to go over this subject for a long time, and I just never found the time to do it. But just recently, a borrower came to me and was being, what's the term I will use, lured, seduced, if you will, a new construction home builder and their sales guys, and it was all about the payments. They were promising a payment that was much lower than what I anticipated that they could get based on a $250,000 price range. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go through this scenario and explain what the escrow whammy is, particularly when you get new construction. So this is what I put out here, but anyway, in this particular case, first thing I'm going to do is I am Kingwood Mortgage Guy. Here's my number, 281-348-9899, and I am the Kingwood Mortgage Guy, but I'm licensed in the state of Texas. So if anybody wanted to call me and ask me questions or work with me throughout Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio, Austin, anywhere in Texas, I am good to go, and I'd love to help you. I do a lot of loans out there. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go over buying new construction and what the escrow whammy is, and that's what you need to know. But you're out there shopping for homes, and it's really hard to find what you like, and it's also, when you do find it, there's so many people that are bidding on it that you lose out because of whatever. I mean, there's a crazy reason. Maybe people bid higher than what the sales price was. So you get a little frustrated after you get that happens 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and you say, you know what, forget it. Great, I'm just going to go with new construction. And in this particular case, you think about it, everything's new. You got new appliances, you got new roof, you got new foundation, you got everything is new. So why would I consider anything else? And the truth is, buying new is great, but you have to be aware of some of the quirky little parts of it, particularly that revolve around loans and taxes. Now, there are a lot of stuff about new homes versus the existing homes, but this particular video is about the real estate taxes and the way the escrows are set up. So how your mortgage company and the title company will handle the escrow account is different, and then most important, the result can be, well, it's a whammy. I mean, it's wham. I mean, it can really, boom, it can really knock you off your feet, and that's why I want you to be aware of this. So real quick, I'm going to go through this real quick. New homes, pros and cons, everything's new, it's a pro. Insurance is low. Insurance companies love doing this homeowners insurance on this because everything's new, nothing breaks. It's a good thing. Deals are good, builders will help you, they're easy to work with, they're anxious and aggressive to work with you. The cons is appreciation on a new construction home. It's a little bit of a gamble. I mean, you may get lucky in that they build around you and they build nicer homes, but they can also build lesser homes around you. And the builders, con is builders are aggressive. Sometimes they're too aggressive. They're too much incentivized on the sales thing, and it usually can be sometimes at your expense. And then the other thing of the escrow account is going to be messed up. I mean, it's not a question if, it will, okay? So why would I want to buy an existing home? Well, real quick, location, location, location. Neighborhoods have history. They have trends. And so you can tell when you're buying into a neighborhood that's continually appreciated, a lot of times that'll go on. You also have maturity. They're established. They have schools. And anyway, there's just a lot of comfort knowing that what you're going to get. When in the new home arena, you don't know as much. It can be good, but there's a little bit of a gamble there. So here we go into the lesson. Real estate taxes and home builders. When a builder decides to build a home, the first thing he has to do is he has to buy a lot. He's got to buy a lot to build on. And let's say in our example, we're going to use the lot is priced at $40,000. So the home buyer is going to build a home that he's ultimately going to sell for $250,000. So forget what the profit is in there. Let's just say he makes a little bit of profit, but the value that the county has for that unimproved lot, basically grass or dirt, that's all it is, it was $40,000. Well, the builder's going to improve that to $250,000, right? But the taxes are based on the $40,000. So how long does that last? Well, let's assume that the builder starts to build in February. And that's not unusual because January, weather's not great. February, March, they start building. And let's say it takes, and this is a short timeline, 120 days to build the home. Could take as long as 180, could even be longer than that. But let's say anywhere from 120 to 180 days. property values in our area, Harris County, Montgomery County, most of the counties in and around our area, are established in May. This is when existing home owners get a chance to challenge their tax rates, or not their tax rates, their tax values. And that's really what the crux of this whole thing is about. And after May, the tax values are set. Now the rates don't change, the values change, and you have to fight those all the time. The county will likely not update the property value of this improved lot because it was happening right about the time that they were calculating the values. And they're just not that efficient that they're going to be right on top of it. Now, it may happen, but it's unlikely. So what happens in 2016 for this year's taxes is based on $40,000, yet you just bought a $250,000 property for this thing. Now, this is pretty good, actually, because the taxes that you're going to pay, and the builder is going to credit you with the taxes from January till June or whenever you buy, but that credit's going to be based on the $40,000, right? You're going to pay taxes in December of 2016 for the whole year. So you get his credit, which is going to be a small credit because it's based on the smaller amount. And the chances are, though, the amount of taxes that you pay will also be the small amount because it didn't get updated by the county in time for them to value it at $250,000. Now, if they did, it would be kind of a rip because you'd be paying a full year of taxes on $250,000, where the builder only contributed the small amount. But that doesn't happen very often, and that's not something that I think is worth worrying about. So here's the deal. How does the mortgage company establish an escrow account for a property that's $250,000? Well, they are going to take the most conservative view they possibly can, and they're going to build that escrow based against the purchase price and the rates. So if they do that, the new construction underwriters, they'll look at the worst case scenario because they don't want you to be underwater right away. They're going to calculate the taxes based on what the sales price was, and the tax rates will stay the same. So the mortgage company is basically giving you worst case number. So their tax escrow amount will be, in this particular case, $250,000 times whatever the tax rate is. And in our example here, and you'd see this in a minute, is our tax amount will be $6,875. Seems like a lot. They do have a mechanism for working on this issue, but it just doesn't work very good. It's just not a good system for doing this. So here's an example. Property purchase price $250,000. Our tax rate is the 2.75. When you calculate that, you get annual taxes of $6,875. But the taxes are going to be based on the $40,000. So the actual taxes, the tax that the county wants from you, are going to be $1,100. So the mortgage company is going to look at that and they're going to go, well, we were ready to pay out just about $7,000, but we only have to pay out $1,100. So that's a good thing. I mean, a lot of positive things are fixing to happen, right? It seems like it anyway. So here's what happens. Taxes are paid in December of 2016. In March of 2017, an analysis is going to be done by the servicing company that handles the payments for your mortgage. And they're going to look to see in your escrow account that you've got $5,800, $5,700 too much. They're going to go, well, this is crazy. Okay, so what they're going to do is they're going to write you a check back, and they're also going to adjust your mortgage payment down. Now, let me tell you, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You get a check, and your mortgage payments go down. But it's a little bit on the artificial side. So in this example, because you had so much in your escrow account and the taxes were low, your payment goes down almost $500. It's great. Now you're at $1,513. So all of a sudden you start going, man, this is great. This house is a wonderful purchase. But reality's starting to set in. It's 2017 in November. Mortgage servicing company gets the bill for taxes in November 17. Oh my gosh, the bill is for $5,000 more than what is in the mortgage escrow account. Well, this is a problem. The mortgage servicing company is going to go ahead and pay the taxes even though your escrow account is low, but then they're going to alert you that the escrow account was low and that your escrow account needs funds. And now your payment is going up not only for the shortage, but also to get the escrow account back up, so it almost doubles. And now what happens is that your new mortgage payment, instead of being $1,500, is now $2,567. Now, back when we started, the mortgage payment should have been about $1,900. When it goes up to $2,567, a lot of times that's just too much for a lot of people to handle. And it's not unusual to see for sale signs in brand new development. And you kind of go, what happened? Why have they got their home for sale when they obviously, this is a brand new community? And the question is, or the answer is that they got hit with the escrow whammy, because it happens all the time, particularly to people that are not communicated with through this process and they don't know what to do. Well, we're going to tell you what to do. So you just had the new construction whammy put out on you, so what can you do? Well, first off, you got to be aware that this can happen. And if the sales guy doesn't tell you about it, you want to ask about it. When you get the check back from the escrow refund, you get that $5,700, you put it in a savings account right then. Okay? When your payments go down, that $500 a month deduction in your payment, you take that $500 and you put it in that same savings account each month that you possibly can. Every one of them would be my suggestion, so that when they do ask, you've got the money that they're going to need. And so what you do is you're alerted to the shortage. You ask for a lump sum cure. In other words, before they take your mortgage payment up, you want to say, oh, by the way, can you tell me how much it's going to take for me to cure this escrow shortage? And I'll bet, and usually the calculations are good, this should be very close to the amount that you saved. Okay, so it's going to cure your escrow account. So your payment is going to go from $15 back up to about $2,000, but it's not going to be a shock, because you're going to know that's what it should have been the whole time, and you're going to have that $10,000 or $11,000 that's going to be the cure for the escrow shortage. So hopefully I didn't go through this too fast, or I didn't stumble over my words, or if you didn't understand any part of this, I want you to call me at 281-348-9899. I am the Kingwood Mortgage Guy, and I am your ally. I want to be your partner when you're buying these houses, so that you know that what's going to happen. And this is one of those things that it won't happen for a year to a year and a half after you purchase. So again, signing off, this is Mike Dura. This is a great information for people buying new construction home to watch out for the escrow whammy.